Hello everybody, welcome to this week's video. Normally this is a live stream recap. Every Sunday I go live at 4 p.m. PST on Twitch and TikTok and talk about the upcoming forecast. Now I'm going to be out of town, so I have this pre-recorded so that you guys can still get that depth with me. So the format of this video is a little less structured. I kind of just yap, just like I do in my live stream, so there's not going to be a lot of editing. I'm just going to be sharing what's coming through. And the beautiful thing about me, if you don't know this already and haven't been following me on here, why haven't you? You should just definitely subscribe and comment if this is your first time on my channel. I don't go too far into the future when it comes to astrology because I don't want to deter you from living in the moment. So transits are opportunities and invitations and energetic reflections of the sort of dance that we're doing ourselves. So I only talk about the week ahead. Maybe someday I'll do a monthly forecast. I don't know. I'm not going to pigeonhole myself in this sort of 1 week reflection, but I find it really important for myself that I don't get too far ahead. So then I'm future tripping about, oh, this transits, I got to plan. I used to be that person. Hi, native Virgo rising here, and I've really let go of that and gave myself permission to just be present with what is. So we're going to be talking about the astrological forecast for the week of Monday the 13th all the way till Sunday the 19th. A couple of housekeeping things before we jump into talking about what's going to be going on is I have opened a Patreon. So my Patreon is now a close-knit container that hosts for my full and new moon rituals. So if you don't want to do a drop-in, it's included in a higher tiered subscription to my Patreon so that you can get all that. You get all my guides, you get all this extra stuff that I've been wanting to share, and just like have a community of people that are willing to be in an exchange with me. And so that's gone live. Also, my new website's live. Just check it out. Look at it. After the video though. Wait, don't go yet. So that's live. And yeah, if you don't want to sign up for the Patreon, I still have drop-ins for the circles. I definitely encourage the Patreon avenue because of the fact that it kind of creates a closed container. And so the people that are in there are going to get closer and start to build this community. And I really want to just keep cultivating this energy that's been coming up, especially from this full moon in Aries that we just had. So there's that, and I have readings open. All my stuff's going to be linked below, so if you want to work deeper with me, all of that is below. Okay. Normally I share the chart when I am talking about the transits, but we're just going to be talking here. So maybe grab a cup of tea, a snack. I can be background sound for you just as you're like... It was funny, one time I was streaming and somebody randomly popped in and they're like, this is like listening to the weather for the news. Like, I would love to see this on the news. And I'm like, wouldn't that be cool one day to be like the astrologer for like CNN or like Fox News? Oh, that would be funny. Okay, anyways, so on Monday the 13th, what a powerful day. I'm not gonna lie, this is... It feels really good to just like perceive these things and to drop into them. Something about me, if you're new here, I get a lot of visuals and downloads when I'm talking about the astrology. It's kind of my way of connecting, as I've been studying this language for over 11 years. So I have my own little relationship with it. So early, well, not early. It's at, actually, let's double check here. Yeah, at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know why I almost said Central. Interesting. 2 p.m. Central. Whoa. There must be a lot of people in Central time zone watching this right now. So hi, let me know if you're in Central time zone. 2 p.m. Pacific. Venus is going to be moving into Libra. This is Monday the 13th. So Venus moves into Libra, and Venus is at home in Libra, guys. That's why it feels really good. We've had Venus in Virgo for a little bit, and it's kind of like she had to stick up her ass. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty intense placement and just very rigid and like how to love in the proper way. And so when Venus enters Libra, as you can see, my curtain's blowing. It's like this soft, harmonious breeze that brings like the perfect temperature, like fall is. Like it's not too hot, it's not too cold. There's a balance of light and dark in the world, and just observing the beauty. So Venus is the way we give and receive love. So with Venus shifting into Libra, it's bringing in a new layer of love and also the reflection of love. Libra is all about partnership and connections and mirroring. So there's going to be a heightened focus on love and connection and how we mirror another person, and really noticing, especially if that mirror is triggering, right? So that's coming up here. This is a great time to enjoy arts. This is a good time to listen to good music, sing, dance, enjoy the finery of life, like really allowing yourself and like enjoying it in community and connection, like going to a museum or a friend's art show, or like supporting your friends in their creativity. It's beautiful. As soon as Venus enters Libra, so just to add some texture and layer to this, because we're going to be feeling that. Let's take a peek. How in Libra? Okay, until November 6th. So we have about like about like 3.5 weeks of Venus here. So those themes are going to be there. But of course, Venus is going to be making aspects to other planets. So as soon as Venus enters Libra, she's going to be making an opposition to Neptune. And what's funny is I don't even have the charts pulled up. I just have like the things written down. So I'm actually going to take a peek at the charts visually, because that's going to bring a little bit more juice to the conversation here. Yeah, so Venus, wow, the chart does not want to cast. There we go. Moving into Libra is going to directly make an opposition to Neptune. Now, Neptune's retrograde in Aries and has been having us really face the sort of illusions of self and understanding that, especially we've got Chiron in Aries as well. So there's been a lot of identity things coming to the surface, right? Who am I? What am I here for? Why? What do I have to share? What do I get to say? What do I have to offer? Who am I? So this opposition between Venus and Neptune is a bit uncomfortable, because oppositions are 180 degrees. So Venus is how we love, and Neptune is this, it's like the psychic's planet. It is this ability to connect. It's actually the higher octave of Venus. It's unconditional love. It's collective love and connection, like above this sort of conditioning that Venus can kind of get trapped in. This is like the higher space of this. And so in this opposition of other, which is Libra, versus self, where Neptune is in Aries, there's like this push and pull of like, can I be this self that I've been cultivating as of recent, like this new self, this new identity that hasn't fully taken form yet, in connection with others. And it's going to have a push and pull. So you'll feel sort of like tension points come up of like, can I embrace this? Can I share this with others? It's almost like, that first experiment when you've created a piece of art and it's been like channeled. Like I think of like musicians or any artists, really. It's like, can this, it's like basically sharing your child with the world. And it's like, is it going to be accepted? Will other people like it? And art is deeply moving. Sometimes it triggers the hell out of us. Sometimes it evokes emotions in us we didn't even know was there. And that is sort of the feeling coming up with this opposition here. It's like, can I share this? Can I let my heart be seen in like the true raw version of my heart that's not fully formed yet and just doesn't have any pressure on it yet, like societal conditionings? And Venus in Libra is like, it's the reflection of the other. And so it might be like, well, like maybe that's too much, or like, like, it's not that pretty, and in the Libran kind of idea of like, well, things must be prim and proper and nice and appealing to the eye. And so there might be some tension coming up here, and this could be reflected in actual relationships, but this could be an inner dynamic happening within you. Okay, so all this is happening on Monday, by the way. Later in the evening, on Monday the 13th, Pluto stations direct. Now, Pluto has been retrograde since May of this year, and the exact date was May 4th. And Pluto has officially been in Aquarius, like this since November last year, had officially settled into Aquarius. So no more dance between Capricorn and Aquarius. So we've had this retrograde happening, which has been having us, whenever retrogrades occur, they are this looking inwards and reflecting on the external to the internal. Now, Pluto is a generational planet. It moves very slow, but Pluto moving into Aquarius is shifting society as a whole. And society as a whole is begging for authenticity, is begging for your weird, wild, wacky self, is asking you to truly show up as you are and to challenge the status quo, aka Pluto in Capricorn, which has been the last roughly 30 years. So, right? So we're really shifting into this new experience. And so this retrograde since May has been having us really look at our authenticity and like where we want to go against the grain and where we have been just conforming to certain things. My favorite example of this, specifically the Pluto in Aquarius, has been the fact that social media has been taking a turn, right? As the wind's blowing, has been taking a turn. Where more authentic, real content is being pushed out, where somebody's just propping up their phone and talking and just sharing, like, this is where I'm at, this is what just happened, this is what's moving through. That is what people are desiring. They're not desiring the like fancy like B-roll and all the stuff and the cut and the butts and the ums all cut out of the video. People are craving real connection. And that's what Aquarius is about. Aquarius is about embracing your unique expression. Okay, so Pluto going direct here, we are getting, it's like the momentum has been very inward as of lately. A lot of building pressure underneath the surface. And so Pluto going direct is allowing this to now go outside of the self, is now like, okay. And this is a collective thing. Again, Pluto is a generational planet. Pluto is retrograde 50% of the time. So it's about 6 months out of every year this happens. So, you know, it's really this sort of gestation period that we've been in. And now it's time to just like let the things out. And we'll potentially see some things happening on a broader scale within the world, because Pluto being a generational planet is furthest away. It's going to kick things more into motion at a broader scale. But on a personal level, it's almost like I'm hearing like letting the steam out. It's almost like there's been pressure building and sort of like now letting it out. Yeah. I heard like death to the old. It's like this, you've been like allowing, like, I'm seeing like stomach acid. Like it's like you've been digesting stuff and now it's like it's ready to take form outside of you. Okay. On Tuesday, the 14th, we have, this is very beautiful. Let me pull this up on the chart here. We have Venus. Oh, okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Venus is going to be trine Pluto and Uranus. And I think this is very cool with the fact that Pluto just went retrograde, and Venus just moved into Libra, like within the same day. And then they're making this trine. So it's almost like, and trines are positive energy flows. This is a great connection there of the same element, which is air. So communication. It's finding, oh, this is actually going to be super cool. I'm really excited to see how this shows up for you guys, if you feel called to share on what's moving through you. But this is a grand air trine that is happening between Venus, Pluto, and Uranus. And so what I'm seeing here, just bringing in all these different layers, we just spoke about Venus moving into Libra, Pluto going direct within Aquarius, and now Uranus retrograde in Gemini. I have a full video on Uranus and Gemini if you're curious on how that's moving through you at a personal level. The video is going to be on my channel, and Uranus moving into Gemini has been freaking badass. Now that it's retrograde, it's definitely bringing it to that inward quality that I was speaking to about Pluto retrograde. Uranus retrograde is allowing us to reprogram the mind. And so there's this like reprogramming that is happening because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So it's the higher mind. And when it's in Gemini, which is a Mercury ruled sign, it's very, very cerebral. There's a lot. You might be getting instant downloads and insights coming through, like all of a sudden clarity. With this retrograde, it's more on an internal level. I'm seeing like new neural pathways forming. So now that I've talked about that, let's talk about all of these connected. We bring in Venus, we bring in Pluto, we bring in Uranus. I'm seeing like powerful conversations, especially relating to the way we give and receive love, coming to form here, where it's like, you know, and there is still that loose opposition to Neptune here. So there still is this sort of fear that's present around the identity and sharing this raw self. But Pluto and Uranus are like, you've got this. We've been working on these things. And so Venus is kind of, I'm seeing as like the spokesperson of this sort of transfiguration that's happening here, and is actually allowing us to share, allowing us to be seen, allowing our voice to be heard. And I'm bringing in the voice texture because these are all in air signs, which is all about communication, creation. I'm seeing writing, I'm seeing singing, poetry. However this takes form, this is a beautiful opportunity to allow your creations to take life, to breathe breath into them, to start a project, to share feelings, to connect deeper, despite the fear of being seen in a state that is not yet fully formed. Okay? If you guys didn't know this, I'm doing a 28-day challenge on my Instagram where I'm just sharing myself authentically. And so I'm just giggling because Shanti, who is one of the mentors and person guiding this container, she's also an astrologer. And so it's always interesting to see the reflections of as above, so below. Like literally that's what this program is about with what I am speaking to here with this configuration. Beautiful. So we're getting that trine to Uranus, trine to Pluto here on Tuesday, the 14th. And when I'm talking about these transits, I'm talking about when they're exact, right? Where the degree is at the exact same degree. So we'll be feeling the buildup of this maybe a day or two, or when Venus moves into Libra, starting to feel this, oh, okay. And then it's going to ebb, just like the moon grows to full illumination and then wanes into a new moon. Okay. Nothing happened on Wednesday the 15th. And just a heads up, I don't talk about moon transits very heavily here because the moon moves signs every 2.5 days. And maybe someday I will include that, but there's a lot of nuances that come into that. And that is more of an intuitive personal experience. So on Thursday the 16th, the sun is going to be squaring Jupiter. Squares are tension points. Squares create sort of pressure points. And so the sun is in Libra, Jupiter is in Cancer, and this square is sort of this interesting thing because the sun is the part of us that wants to be seen the most. And in Libra, it's like, I want to be seen in connection, in relationship. I want to be seen as, you know, maybe the best partner or the best creator or, and this isn't a bad thing, guys. It's okay to be seen in these things and want to be seen in these things. And I'm bringing up the sort of like heavier side of it, because this is what the tension's kind of drawing out, because Jupiter in Cancer is like, I just want to be deeply nurtured. I just want to stay in my comfort zone. And Jupiter's expanding it in a way that is like, it can be overindulgent a little bit. Jupiter in Cancer can be like, I'm just going to stay in the bathtub all day, every day, and just watch my soap operas. Which is okay, because sometimes we do need to do that. But if we stay too long in that energy and it doesn't have like nurturing foundations that really help us in the long run, it can be detrimental, right? So the sun in Libra is like, we need to like go out and connect and look at the mirrors and the reflections. And Jupiter in Cancer is like, well, what if we could just like, Jupiter in Cancer kind of wants to take care of itself first. And I think that's important, but there's also this edge, this relational edge that's coming in a lot, where it's like, and I'm reminded of something somebody shared on Instagram regarding relationships, and that it actually is very important to actually care about the person and their well-being. And we live in a society right now that's very much like self-focused, which is good, but you know, there's discernment for each of those things. And what I'm feeling with this is kind of that edge of like overindulgent self-nurturing versus recognizing the need to connect relationally. And so it's like, and there's no answer to this. This is just kind of like, it's going to have this sort of irritated edge. Square's just, it's like your shoe rubbing your, like it's too tight on your foot, and it's like, well, you're already out of the house, so you can't change it. It's just there, right? So that's kind of this tension point that's happening here. And it's very interesting, because even tapping into this, the way my body feels and the way I'm like gripping my chair, like white knuckled grip, and because it feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable because Cancer really just wants to be focused on like, well, I'm just going to take care of myself. And the sun in Libra is like, but you want to actually be seen in connections, and you actually want connection and partnerships and close communication with people, and to understand yourself through the other. But Jupiter in Cancer is like, yeah, but I could like get a lot more like more abundance if I just do it on my own. So this will be really interesting to see how this plays out. Now, Friday the 17th, the sun is going to be opposing Chiron, which is going to add an interesting texture to this, because Chiron is our wound. It is the wounded healer. It is the kind of concept of, it's a wound that's never going to go away, but the way that you kind of remedy or come to terms with it is by helping other people that have similar wounds. So Chiron's been in Aries for a hot while, I think since 2019, I think. And we've been really confronting the wound around the self. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Who is Izzy? Who is Sarah? You know, it's kind of like, what is this? What's going on? I just heard the crazy frog song in my head. kind of vibe. So Chiron opposition to the sun, it's our egoic expression now face to face with our wound. So we can't ignore this. And I want to bring up the full moon in Aries sort of energy here that happened on the 6th, because there was like an illumination that happened there in that opposition to the sun, right? That we got a glimpse at this sort of wound and where it's at. And now we're getting to kind of see it again and confront it again. And so the sun opposing Chiron is really like, well, I am deeply intermeshed in connection right now, and the reflection that's happening within myself and the world. And then Chiron's like, yeah, but like, I don't know who I am. So how can I be in relationship? I'm lying to the partner, or like, this isn't my true authentic expression yet. And the thing that like the permission that's coming in with this transit and the invitation is like, if you're like, I'm going to share both sides. So it's like, it's so interesting because it's like you're actually very deeply accepting of people in their process, right? You're like, yeah, I've been there. I've gone through that. Like, life is not always sunshine and rainbows. So it's okay to like be in your emotions. But then to be on the side where you're the person that's like, there's so much craziness happening and I'm feeling so much and I don't know who I am. You're like, I don't want to put this pressure on the other, right? And it's like, I can't be loved because I'm not perfect yet, or I'm not healed yet, and I don't know who I am yet. And so this is so present, and it could be present on the stage of like you with another, or it's you with yourself, right? This sort of like, like I know I'm not fully formed yet, but there is a part of me that still wants to enter into connection and to be seen and to be reflected upon. So that is coming up on the 17th of October. And let's take a peek. Okay, Sunday the 19th, literally 11:51 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So for most of you, if you're in other time zones, this is technically happening early morning on Monday, but I'm going to talk about it now because of the fact that the email will be coming out, right before Mercury is going to be conjunct Mars on the 19th. And this is actually really freaking cool. They're both in Scorpio. Let me go ahead and jump ahead a couple days here. There we go. Take a peek at this. See what other connections they're making here. Sextile to South Node, square to North Node. Very interesting. So conjunctions are when two planets are at the exact same degree in the same sign. And so when they're conjunct, it means they're operating together. Now we have the messenger, Mercury, conjunct with the warrior. And in traditional astrology, Scorpio is the ruler of Mars. And so this actually has some interesting depth to it. There's some texture here. It's almost like you're finally getting the words to express your desires. And these desires are deep. And that's what Scorpio's about. Scorpio is all about what other people would maybe coin as waste or excess or exiled. This is the space of the exiled parts of ourselves. And it's like embracing the shadows, embracing, the longing that we have in areas of our life that might not be societally accepted. This is the taboo. This is sex. This is deep soul primal desire to merge. And Mercury is here and Mars is here, and they're both this is powerful. This is actually speaking your desires. This is saying, this is what I want and I will have it. There is no question when it comes to Scorpio. Scorpio is all about possessing things. So if it wants it, it will get it. And the thing about Scorpio is there's not a need to actually say it, because they'll just embody the frequency and to tap into the emotions and they'll call it in. That's how deeply powerful it is. And so this is kind of a challenge actually for Scorpio to be like, actually, this is what I want. I want you. I want this. I want, and I'm hearing money coming in here too, because Scorpio has to do with like debt. But it's like this sort of flip of the script of like saying like, I am going to have this. This is going to be mine. This is already mine. And this can be a little fiery. I'm not going to lie. It's like, it's a very interesting thing because I almost think of it as like dried ice, where it's so cold that it burns, right? That sort of idea of dried ice. And it's like, this is going to be like, it's going to be uncomfortable for some people to actually have such a raw primal desire for certain things and to actually say like, I want this. and to not feel sorry about it. So this is a beautiful day to actually speak your desires out, to say what you want to say. And it might be a little saucy. A part of me heard like manipulative. So a little air of caution of like really feel into people's intentions. It could be a little oily is kind of the feeling also. But if used, because all transits are opportunities, it's the same with any sort of tool. You can wield it for good or you can wield it for evil. That's why it's really important to understand what you're doing with your magic, right? And this is a very magical moment here of connection, of being able to take action on your words, to take action from a place of deeply fueled desire. Yeah, so use with caution. Yeah, those are the transits for the week ahead. So just a quick verbal recap. On Monday the 13th, Venus will enter Libra. Then Venus is going to make an opposition to Neptune later in the day. Pluto stations direct. On the 14th, Venus is going to trine Uranus and Pluto, creating a grand trine. Woo! A fly landed on my nose. No. Sorry, your guys' ears. On Thursday the 16th, the sun is going to square Jupiter, and then Friday the 17th, the sun's going to oppose Chiron, and then on the 19th, which is a Sunday, Mercury is going to be conjunct Mars. So, and if you want to have this in a neatly written package, I'm going to be sending an email out on Monday with my newsletter, so you can subscribe down below to get that to your inbox, so you have like just written guide points. This fly, protect your energy. See, he's over you guys now too. Protect your energy, by the way. We're going to leave this here. I will be live the following Sunday on the 19th to talk about the week ahead. And I hope to see you guys there. All my stuff's linked below. Like, comment, subscribe. Support me on my journey here in YouTube. Yeah, we're in YouTube. We're here. We're in it. All right, guys. See ya.